if he win this playoff game, does it make him a top 5 quarterback? All right, my top 5. Am I all right? Does this take Jalen Hurts out? Yes.
Let's go, Tar. That's what I'm talking about, boy. That's what I'm
Does
talking
it? So if
about,
he win this playoff game, I believe it'll take
boy.
Jalen
That's
Hurts
a
out.
big deal for him. That's a
So
big deal.
this top five, this don't matter if they're hurt or they're playing, right?
So
Okay.
Joe Burrow, I'm even Joe
Okay,
Burrow being
all
hurt,
right,
I'm not taking him
because
out of my
my
top 5.
top five is probably Pat, Lamar, Allen, Burrow, and yeah, he win. Yeah, I don't see why I would put Trevor Lawrence,
Thank
Herbert,
you.
all them
Thank
Hurts in
you.
front of him. Why not Stroud? I mean, and the thing is, he not like so. The thing with like Hurts, I'll speak on Hurts is his team can overcome him not being that great on Sundays, and they can still win. That's how good their
Herbert
team is, right?
Herbert can't make it to the playoffs.
Herbert,
And
Can't even make it to the playoffs. He don't even deserve to be in the top 5.
Welcome to the Stand Bounds, the sports podcast of the people. I'm your host, Corey P, here alongside Vic. How you doing?
Blessed, brother. Happy to be here. Y'all let me on the show, boy. I'm happy today.
And KO, what's up, brother? How you doing?
Doing good, bro. Playoff football this weekend. You ready to talk about it? Get busy. Got Vic in the building. You know, he got some hot takes.
Sir.
Yeah.
How's the weather out there in San Diego, man?
God is good. God is
good.
Hey, man, Howard got some work obligations. Hopefully be back soon. But, so, we brought Vic on. Vic is the host of Soup Talk, the best battle rap podcast in the land.
You know what I'm saying, baby? You know what I'm saying? Soup Talk Podcast. Come holla at us. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, man. Hey, check it out for sure. You'll see some good conversation over there with Vic and his brothers, So, when it comes to our picks, K-Wall, went 12-4 last week.
I needed a big week like that. I needed a big week.
So his record right now is 139 and 107. Howard went 12-4 with his picks last week. So right now he 138 and 108, a game behind K-Wall. And I went 11-5, but I'm 142 and 104 still in the lead. Today, Vic, you gonna be picking for Howard, man. So I mean, maybe you can catch up for him,
Only got one game on you? Dang. Because did you take the Eagles? I took the Eagles.
Yeah.
I took the Eagles with the mind, but my heart said take the Giant. Damn.
Yeah, me and you both took the Eagles. Howard only took
Yeah, the G-Man. Damn.
But man, we got some discussions to get into today. And with Vic being on the show, we're gonna start off with his Minnesota Vikings. Justin Jefferson right now is one of the best, if not the best, wide receiver in the league. Every single year he seemed to get better and better and better. He dealt with some injuries this year. But even when he came back, he seemed to, not miss a step. They picked up Jordan Addison, which is a good complimentary piece to him. But we're going to start with you, Vic. What do the Vikings need to do to keep Justin Jefferson from wanting to walk that summer?
Whatever he wanted, whatever he want. If he want fried chicken on Fridays, give him fried chicken. He wants waffles on Saturdays, give him waffles on Saturdays. I think, man, because this is the thing with the Vikings. You have a very delicate situation. You know what I'm saying? You got to think the best players on the team, the new GM did not pick. He didn't pick them players. So you got to make JJ happy. Kevin O'Connell, rookie coach. I mean, his second year, playoff, division title. This year, we didn't make it. True, you can make a lot of excuses. But at the end of the day, we ain't in the playoffs. So you have both of them don't want to mess up. They still want to keep their job. So whatever JJ wants, JJ gonna get. I think Kirk Cousins coming back. I don't think Justin Jefferson is going to look in their face and tell them that I'm good with you blowing the load on a whole new rookie quarterback that he might be due to mess my numbers up. Nah, JJ won't Kirk. JJ won't Kirk. I think the city won't Kirk. Do I think we should move on? Yes and no. Yes, because Kirk does turn 36 and eventually he is going to move on. No is because I ain't going to lie, man. I'm a hardworking Black man in America. On Sundays, Mondays, and Thursdays, I want my team to be competent. I want to be hot doo-doo. I don't want to be hot doo-doo. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And you know me, Carl, y'all, K-Wall, y'all know me. I'm never gonna sign up to say blow it up. Man, look, man. Yeah, I love fantasy football, but man, I still want my team to be decent, man. So it's a yes or no. It's a hard decision. But in the grand scheme of things, I do believe the Vikings do need to move on from Kurt, but it don't have to be next year. It don't have to be.
Yeah, well, what you think?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with a lot of things that Vic had pointed out. As far as Justin Jefferson singular as the player himself, yeah, whatever the man wants, you got to give him because he is a special talent. Not just only what he can do stat sheet wise as a physical specimen, he's a special with that size, speed, catch radius. Those kind of guys don't come along a lot, and that's why he's in that conversation as 1-2 with Jamar Chase because he's a freak train as well. You know what I'm saying? So you can't, by any means necessary, you can't let that walk out the door until you see some stage of decline. Then you can get out. But he don't seem like he's declining because he's the same receiver that can get busy with a Josh Dobbs, with a Nick Mullins, with a Jaron Hall. All you gotta do is just give him the ball. He told his carousel quarterbacks. He said, just throw it. If it's a 50-50, a 60-40, 70-30, just throw it. I'm gonna make a play. You know what I'm saying? And that you can't let that go out the door because that mentality, not a lot of guys keep that mentality, especially with the amount that they're paid as well. They might not care. Once the QB goes down, all right, it's a lost season, whatever. Pack it in. Let me cash my checks. And I think one of the things they could do to keep him in there would be to bring Kirk Cousins back on a friendly 2-year deal with a team option for that second year. I've seen a lot of guys get deals like that at other positions, and I think it wouldn't be out of the range of outcomes to give Kirk something like that. He is 36, but this team was well on their way to, walking down the lines for that NFC. I don't know if they would have won the NFC North, but they were on their way to being a wild card easily.
Yeah.
They were 5-4. They came off that big win at home against the Niners. And then Kirk went down and it kind of derailed the season a little bit. But I mean, you can't do anything about that. Injuries are gonna happen.
Right.
And if Kirk is fully healthy, I think he gives them the best financial flexibility to continue to add around the team and draft well, because they've been doing pretty well in the draft. You are going to have to shed some of the fat with some of these major contracts they have, like the Daniil Hunter situation. You got to figure out what you want to do with him. If you want to keep him or let him walk, he is expensive. There's a couple guys that might be up for extensions pretty soon. You have the line can always be helped, but I think if you're bringing in someone who can get him the ball, I think that's all that matters because he knows when the ball's in his hands, it equals success.
Right.
It's not a selfish act of him wanting the ball. He knows that when he has the ball, it's going to equal success for the team. And I think Kirk has that rapport with him that he gives him the best ability to win. Now, having Kirk, you're going to need to beef up that line because coming off an Achilles injury, that mobility wasn't there beforehand. He definitely ain't scooting nowhere now. So you're going to have to give him time in that pocket. But you got a good core. You got a Ty Chandler and an Alexander Madison. You got a JJ Jordan Addison. You got a TJ Hawkinson. That offense is loaded. That offense can get in a shootout with anybody in the NFC. And the defense started playing well towards the end. But I think those would be a couple of things that I would do to keep him from leaving. And I don't think JJ wants to leave, honestly. If it was up to him, I don't think he wants to leave. I think he likes his situation, but at the same time, there's not one team in the NFL that wouldn't throw him super max money to be on their team either. So
Yeah, facts. And to me, what I'm looking at is you're dealing with a guy that is used. He came from college as a winner, you know. And when he got to the NFL, yes, everything's going good, the numbers are right, and all that stuff. But he's gonna get his bag no matter where he goes.
Right.
So it's a situation where I'm looking at it like, why hasn't he already signed that extension? Like, what is he holding out for? Maybe you know a little more about this. Why is he holding out, Vic? Why hasn't he signed an extension to become the highest paid wide receiver in the league?
I really feel like it's because he don't know who's throwing him the ball. I really do because it's not the money because his extension right now on the rookie deal with the 5-year is $20 million. So he ain't hurting for bread. JJ fine. Justin Jefferson want to win. He wants to win, and so I really feel like he's looking at it like, what are y'all doing with Kurt? Because the only thing NFL players can really do is not sign that next deal. That's the only real power they have if they want to try to force somebody's hand. You know what I'm saying? So like,
you think they most likely would tag him probably too, right?
They would tag them, but most of the time when you start tagging them players, man, they take that as like disrespect, man. Like, once you start tagging guys.
So let me ask you, do you think they should go ahead and draft a quarterback this year? like let's say kind of like the Kansas City situation, right? They had a decent quarterback in Alex Smith, but they drafted Pat and Travis Kelsey, Tyreek Hill, all them boys got to see him in practice. Like, okay, we can see the future. We ain't necessarily, Do you think they should bring Kirk back and then go ahead and also draft a guy so that Justin Jefferson can at least see what the future might look like?
If I'm fine with that scenario, if Justin Jefferson's on board with that. If Justin Jefferson is on board with that, then cool. I feel like if you from now until April, if it come across your screen of your phone, Justin Jefferson signs a max deal, blah blah blah, or if he signs a deal or Kurt signs a deal, Justin Jefferson was part of that conversation. Point blank.
But I think the Vikings might be in a kind of like a tough spot a little bit too, because not only do you not know who's throwing the ball to your best player on the field, if not the entire NFL, you know what I'm saying? You've got the 11th pick in the draft where there could be some projects, not even projects, but promising quarterbacks at 11. But at the same time, you've got Jonathan Bullard, Marcus Davenport, Daniil Hunter, and DJ Woonham, all free agents on the defensive line. And I don't see them bringing back all four of them, maybe one if they can. So it's like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you got to have this solution probably resolved before the draft, because
Oh yeah,
if you're
absolutely.
banking on going into the draft with the 11th pick and you're gonna sign Kirk Cousins, then you're probably gonna take the best defensive player available at 11. You think? Or
Marcus Davenport, number one, need to go to jail for robbing. The man only played 3.5 games. He need to go to jail. He need to go to Minnesota State jail for at least a month, because that was crazy. We didn't see that man play no more than 3 games, I feel like. Daniil Hunter, I think you got to pay him, man. That's one of the premier positions. You got to pay him. DJ Wanham, he's on the deal. I mean, he's a free agent. You got to pay. Like, they got a lot of decisions to make. So
a lot of areas to address on the defense and a lot of decisions to make. But
So,
I think okay. So if you say you did this right, just hear me out. Say you did this right. Say you signed Daniil Hunter, right? But you gave him those voidable years and a way to get yourself out of it. But it's kind of front loaded a little bit or back loaded. You bring back DJ Wanham and you draft some guys in the second round. How would you feel if the Vikings didn't bring back Kirk and they went in a whole other direction and they went with like a Michael Penix or Jaden Daniels, who maybe they might make it because you got Chicago needs a QB possibly. Washington definitely needs a quarterback. New England needs one. We don't know what the Cardinals might do with Kyler. You know what I'm saying? And then you got New York Giants. You know what I'm saying? They might need one. Tennessee. I don't know how they feel about Will Levis. Atlanta definitely is a quarterback. So if them guys make it through all that, even if you do have Kirk Cousins on the roster, is what I meant to say initially, would you still take a Jaden Daniels or a Michael Penix?
if you trade, so in the scenario you saying is not a trade up, just if
There's no trade. Say they fall to you at 11, right? They make it through.
take it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, say a Jaden Daniels falls you at 11,
Take it.
because a Jaden Daniels needs to put on a lot of weight to play in the NFL. He's gonna get himself hurt, right? But he can learn for a year. That's what I'm saying. You give Kirk a 2-year deal with a team option for the second year. You can let him learn behind Kirk, and if Kirk go down, he's not that bad of a replacement coming behind him, because he's a pocket presence passer too. You get what I'm saying?
The other scenario is, there's a guy that you've been very high on that we talked about in Quinn Ewers who decided to go back to school.
Yeah, he's going back to school now.
You could always take Kirk for this 1 year and then maybe draft Quinn Ewers next year,
You could. I feel like you double dipping if you give Kurt a team friendly deal, but then in the first round you trade up or use the 11th pick to get a quarterback. It's kind of like
Green Bay.
Like you kind of like, I ain't saying like you sealed our fate for the season, but you kind of said like we ain't win no Super Bowl because we got spots we got to fill up. You know what I'm saying?
I feel you. At 11 too is because there's a lot of talent still left at 11.
Yeah.
Now, if you do this like Green Bay at like 29, between 29 and 32, it's a little different, but
that's
still,
different, right? But
yeah.
You pay Kurt and then the 11th pick or trade up for a QB. It's like what he like.
So what position would you want them to attack the most? Like, you think they need corners? You think they need linebacker?
I am glad that we're keeping Brian Flores. I don't think he's getting interviews, which is I'm not saying he's not a good coach. It's just I think him still suing the NFL, that stuff. I'm glad Flo's staying. The defense was good until that Bengals game. That Bengals game, they did a lot of homework. That Bengals game, the Lions game, those were the rest of the season. They just cooked us. They figured us out. But that's NFL's chess. But I think we need a defensive tackle. We need a big fat boy that when he bend over, you see his ass crack, and he can go through the line. He can wall guys up. Because I like Jazon Newton from Illinois. I like Tavondre Sweat from Texas, but he's not a first-round pick. I like Strong from Texas. He's not a first-round pick. I like Chris Jenkins from Michigan. I don't know if he's a top 15 pick. We need some ham in the middle. We need some ham hawks in the middle to, corner. You know how I feel about corner, man. I feel like
corner is hit or miss.
Yeah, corner hard,
because
man. It's hard.
You could take, like, let's say, no offense to my brother in Ohio State, but you could take somebody like a Jeff Okudah, number 3, and he just never pan out. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard because corner is not like drafting receiver 3rd overall. You can get him the ball and beef up his stats, and he gonna look like he doing something in the league. Corner, you just on an island getting cooked. There's nothing you could possibly do to make him look better. You just getting cooked.
That's why they got to celebrate the overthrows.
Yeah, facts. Hell yeah.
You see Jalen Ramsey. You see when Allen threw that pass to Diggs and it was a little too far and he couldn't catch it. Jalen Ramsey was like,
"Oh yeah," he was like, "Thank you, God." He was like, "Yo."
The fans in the shot behind Ramsey were like, "Thank you."
Yeah, it's like you're by yourself. Like that's why I didn't agree with, not to get off subject, but I didn't agree with the Texans getting Stingley when they got him 2 years ago. But they look smart because they got CJ Stroud the next year.
And Will Anderson too, yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? And Will Anderson, so they look smart.
But imagine if they would just took Sauce. Imagine they would just took Sauce. Crazy.
Christian Gonzalez is a good corner for the Patriots. He's a good corner. He is a good, but that's also Belichick. Shout out to Bill. You know what I'm saying? That's I don't know, man.
This last question I got for you, right? If they don't bring a Kirk Cousins back, which one of these teams that need a quarterback you could see Kirk donning the uniform for next year?
The Atlanta Falcons.
Ooh.
I kind of see him going back home to Washington, maybe.
His wife is from Atlanta, so I feel like, his wife and her whole family's from Atlanta. And you got to think, Kirk Cousins with Kyle Pitts, Bijan, Drake London.
That would be nasty. And if they take Malik Neighbors or Rome Aduze in the draft, like what they're mocking them to do, you know what I'm saying? That would be crazy.
I think he fits with them. Washington. I'm not a big Terry McLaurin fan, so I don't think he.
I was gonna say, how do you feel about him on the Patriots in New England?
Where are the weapons at? Where are the weapons at?
No, I mean, there are no weapons. I'm just saying, what you think about him playing for the Patriots? You know, like you have it's a lot of gadget guys. There's no like Juju Smith-Schuster is their most solid guy, but you got guys with like ridiculous speed and Thornton. You got guys with good hands like the guy who came on at the end of the year, Douglas. You know, you got Ramondre.
Oh yeah,
you got a bunch of guys. You got a bunch of guys. You know what I'm saying?
Kurt not signing nowhere where the defensive coordinator not giving him a hug or patting him on the butt saying, "Kurt, you did a good job." He already had did that with Zimmer. Now you're going to send him to a big black man in Gerard Mayo in New England. Like if Kurt throw a pick right, Gerard gonna be like, Kurt gonna be like, nah, that Kurt ain't signing up for that. Kurt ain't signing up.
I threw an interception.
Yeah, like
he's doing it young.
Kurt ain't signing up for that. Nope.
I mean, Washington, for the nostalgic reason, would be cool. But honestly, like Washington fake got like a lot of weapons, you know what I'm saying? Like with Terry McLaurin, Samuel, Brian Robinson, Gibson. Like it's like B-level talent outside of McLaurin, but it's like it's not bad. I just think the Atlanta one, that didn't even dawn on me. That would be tough. That'd probably be his. That's a better situation than we got in Minnesota, which is crazy.
Because they're all younger.
They're all young, and they're all like supreme athletes too.
That's a good. they're gonna offer him the bag. If the Atlanta Falcons don't make that move for Fields, they're gonna offer him the bag. I'm telling you.
And I think that's why you got to have this resolved before the draft. Because if y'all not willing him to give him some, because he's 36, like you said, if you're not willing to give him some stability at this end of his career, somebody like Atlanta will give him a 4-year, $160 million deal because they got the money to do it. They got the money to do it too.
Yeah.
That'd be
You know what I'm saying?
crazy. But let's move on. All right. So a couple of days ago, we just saw that the Seattle Seahawks decided to move on from their longtime coach and Pete Carroll. Pete, hey, no matter what, if the NCAA won, take it back, whatever, Pete won that championship. Pete was a college national champion. He was also a Super Bowl champion coach. And, and this came as a surprise to many, but what should the Seahawks path be going forward after the moving on from Pete?
You can go first, Dwyer.
Depends on what way the owner want to go. Do you want to do offensive minded head coach because you got DK Lock is getting older, but he's still a reliable guy.
Yeah.
You got Kenneth Walker. You still got Geno for one more year. So I mean, it'll make sense to go offense, or you go defense, or you just get the best leader of men. You just get the best leader of men, like Pete was. Pete Carroll, no matter what you say, he didn't hand it to Marshawn. Russell threw the ball. Legion Boom, whatever. Pete knows how to lead grown men. He knows how to lead grown men who make more money than him. That's a talent, man. That's a talent. For you to get grown men that make more money than you to say, hey, man, go on that field and put your life on the line for you, yourself, your family, and me, man, that's a lot, dog. That's a lot. Those are some big shoes to fill. You gonna be a coach after Pete Carroll? He's won a national championship and a Super Bowl. I don't know if I'm taking that job. I don't know if I'm taking that job. That's a lot of pressure.
And not only that, I mean, that's the only thing in the entire state, in that region, that whole Pac West region, to cheer for. So you got fans from Oregon, you got fans from Idaho, all them like surrounding states that are all Seahawks fans that make that trip to be the 12th man every Sunday.
Die hard,
you know die hard. So this team,
fans,
this team is expecting success. Like every NFL team is, and they have the infrastructure to do a rebuild, but they really don't have to do a rebuild. You know what I'm saying? I think you got to address the quarterback portion. I think the Geno thing was a little too soon, a little too much too soon. You're in bed with him.
Nothing for him. 3 years ain't nothing. A 3-year contract.
No, I know, but I'm saying you got to start looking now. You kind of got to start looking now. Yeah, but I think the best possible coach for this, because they filled that void in New England, I think the best next option would be somebody like a Mike Vrabel, because you said you need a guy who can lead men, get somebody who makes way more money than him, and to go out there on that football field and put their life on the line for 18 weeks straight, possibly the playoffs for one person. I think Vrabel would be the perfect coach for that. I think he could.
About that. That's a good one.
The thing is, you got a guy who's also played in the league too, so he understand on another level what some guys are going through, and he understand how the league works, and playing on Sundays works. He gonna get them ready to play on Sundays. I think Vrabel will be the perfect coach for that, because his time in Tennessee seems like it's up. They filled the void in New England. That was a spot I thought he would go to, but I think Seattle would be perfect for him. It's a crazy diehard fan base, and them guys is waiting to run through a wall for somebody, because that's all they've known. The guys who've been there with Pete, win, lose, or draw, them dudes would fight hard for Pete every single Sunday, like Vic said. I think Vrabel would be a perfect coach, and he can handle a locker room like that. You can't bring in a defensive coordinator who's a first-time coach.
Right, yeah.
You can't bring an OC in there who's a first-time coach, because it's a different mentality up there. And I think when these teams bring these guys in just because they're part of the McVay tree, or they're part of this tree or that tree, they're not taking into account the mental aspect of it as well. Some of them dudes fold under that pressure. I think Vrabel would step up to the plate, and he'd embody that. I think he's been looking for someone to, and that was his biggest issue in Tennessee, was that they never backed him. They never believed in his philosophy like that. But the players did. This is probably the toughest 5.
I really think it was mutual that Vrabel left. I think it was mutual.
This is the toughest 6-11 team probably that didn't make the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Because on any given Sunday, they could sneak anybody, and they proved it the last game of the season. Yeah. They beat the dog shit out of the Jags.
What? Man,
ran up and down on them. ran up and down on him.
So I'm kind of going in a different direction. I think it's finally time for that team to make the decision between Lockett and DK. Honestly, if we're gonna look at it right, I think Pete was a great coach, all this stuff. I agree with you with the Vrabel situation, but I think it's finally time for them to make that decision because JSN looked like he could be a solid guy in this league. I feel like they need to open up the opportunities for him, Ohio State. So I feel like they need to open up the opportunities for him to allow him. DK is a great wide. I feel like he could be a great wide receiver, but he's never going to be able to reach that as long as Tyler Lockett is there. So either they're gonna, I feel like they go ahead and trade DK, see what they can get out of the value of DK right now, because he's a nice young wide receiver, and JSN could possibly take up a lot of that role that DK would leave behind. He ain't gonna be as physical and all that stuff, but he could take up a lot of the role. Or they need to go ahead and get Lockett up out of there because Lockett has been a great staple for their team for a long time, but at the same time he's getting older and he's taken away from these young guys getting them
This
opportunities because he'll
this is
gonna
what I
always
think.
be Mr.
This is
Reliable.
what I think it is. I don't think it's anything DK is doing wrong. Like I said, I think it's the quarterback, right? You see when Gino tried to throw a moon ball to DK and it get picked off, he don't look his way the rest of the game because Lockett run the layup routes. You know what I'm saying?
He
Lockett
do. He
runs
run
the
the layup.
easier routes. He runs the across the middle, the little 5 and outs. JSN's in the slot. Them is the easier throws. You know what I'm saying? It ain't nothing wrong with DK. It's just he got a quarterback that can't get him the ball when he need to. You know what I'm saying? And it comes down to coaching too. If he can't get him the ball down the field laterally, why not put him horizontally and let him get out in space as well? You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So it's
true.
a coaching thing. I think they can coexist, but I think they need to go in the season and they need to let them know that, hey, this offense is going to run through you and you're going to take us as far as you can, along with the running game. You know what I'm saying? He's
Right.
the number one because a Seattle Seahawks offense clicking on all cylinders is pretty dangerous with a DK, a Lockett, a Jason, and a Ken Walker in the backfield. You know what I'm saying? And then that defense would be nice too. But continue what you're saying. I'm sorry. My bad.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna be like that. I'm there too. It just at a certain point, Tennessee did it. They got to a point where they were like, all right, we just gotta go in here and see what value we get because you're going to have to pay DK.
You got to
DK's
pay him. You got to pay him.
yeah,
I think
like
he's up this year, ain't he? I think he's up for the contract,
yeah,
ain't he?
facts. No matter what the numbers are, whatever, you're going to pay him. So you got to go into a situation where you got to feel like, hey, is he really worth being paid as one of these top receivers out here, or should we look for the value in the draft and try to replace him that way? We already got a guy in JSN who when he was getting opportunities, beginning of the year didn't start off good, but he broke his hand, whatever. But then when he started getting opportunities, he looked like he could take on that role as a number one ish, maybe top level two. So that's that. I feel like that should be the path right there on the defensive side. It was a good feel good story bringing Bobby Wagner back, all that stuff.
Buddy
But
led the NFL in tackles too.
it was,
That's crazy.
but they got a lot of pieces. That what's the corner? Wooly,
Oh,
whatever.
Tariq Woolen. Tariq Woolen.
Yeah,
Tariq Woolen.
real.
So, Car, let me ask you this, Car. If you're Kansas City, do you make that call?
About DK?
Yeah.
1,000%. 1,000%. I give up 2 first
Yeah,
rounders.
because I was about to say,
Ooh!
I was about to say, DK. You can't look at the stats when you assess DK the receiver because he's only as good as his quarterback will allow him to be,
Right.
and that's you can't hold that against him. You know what I'm saying? But if you're
I,
Seattle, can you really live with yourself having that talent in the building for as long as you've had, and he ain't even scratched the surface of his potential, and he goes somewhere with a CJ Stroud and grow with him, or he go with a Pat Mahomes and he turns into a top 3 receiver, which we all think that he has the capability to do so. Can you
what's
live
really
with yourself?
what is
Because
really the
Lockett's
difference
only
between
getting
him and
older,
AJ
right?
Brown?
But I'm
Wait,
saying
What's really the difference between him and AJ Brown?
I think DK
they
is an
they the
inch
same
taller.
type wide.
Yeah, nothing really.
Exactly. So why is AJ Brown looking like so much of a better receiver than the DK?
And
Because
he's
you're
mad in Philly. He's mad right now. He ain't even playing. Did y'all see that?
Yeah,
He
he's
yeah.
hurt.
Because, like I said, you're only as good as your quarterback will allow you to be. And that comes down to a lot of factors. It comes down to a lot of factors. Coaching, scheming up plays. If you're not getting the ball to your best receiver, Lockett's great. He's serviceable. Jason's good. He's a rookie, right? But your best home run hitter on that entire squad, even bigger than Kenneth Walker, You can't scheme up something to get him something in space to get him going right there. That's coaching. There's no reason why DK should go the whole entire game without a target until the 2-minute drive when y'all down by 14.
Facts.
And the dude is torching them. They finally start giving the ball. Dude is chunk play after chunk play after chunk play. And then you get in the red zone and you're not even looking at the biggest guy on the field. That's coaching. And it's execution. You take a DK and you put him with a CJ Stroud. You know what I'm saying? Now we're cooking. You know what I'm saying? You put him with a Pat Mahomes. Good Lord. You know what I'm saying?
You put him
Shit,
with a Bryce Young.
You put him with a no, see, y'all strictly. Yeah, I was like, you put him with a Bryce Young, but I don't know. I think this is gonna be the biggest wide receiver carousel this offseason because you got a lot of talent coming into the league. You got a lot of expensive guys on expiring deals. You got a lot of guys who've been expensive, who are free agents, who teams might be like, should we pay him? So it's gonna be a lot of moving parts around, but Mike Vrabel would not let a DK Metcalf go an entire game with no targets. He would put that offensive coordinator to the sideline and be like, "What the fuck are we doing?"
Mike knows how to feed the dogs. You see how he felt when they traded AJ Brown. He was
pissed. He came out and said, "I had nothing to do with this. Absolutely not. This was the guys in the suits who ain't never played a lick of football in their life made this deal."
Yeah.
Come on now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hopefully, Seattle.
But I'm saying it's a great setup. It's like what he had in Tennessee. You know what I'm saying? He had an AJ Brown. And he had a Derrick Henry. He got the same thing coming to Seattle, you know what I'm saying, with a DK and a Ken Walker. But he's got better complementary pieces in Seattle, more he can work with. And he's got an opportunistic defense. They're not the best group, but you give them an opportunity to get themselves back in the game, they're going to fight for it.
Yeah,
I think it'd be a great fit for him.
It'll definitely be 1,000% great fit. Like I said, I don't feel like Seattle's gonna be out of it too long. They got all the pieces to be a good team. They just got to figure out a way to compete with the Rams and San Francisco. But it's gonna be all right. So I got a question for y'all right now. There's a lot of good teams in the playoffs. There's some teams just snuck in, but which team to y'all is the most dangerous team in this playoff picture?
We saying overall, or we going AFC, NFC?
We go AFC, NFC.
And the NFC, I think the most dangerous team is the LA Rams.
You took my pick. I was gonna say the same thing.
The LA Rams. Cause man, Sean McVay, I don't think he's 40 yet, and he has a coaching tree. That's number one. He's under 40 with a coaching tree. What? 2, something named Puka Nacua is a top 5 wideout. All pro. They said, Cooper Cup be in the locker room. People be looking at Cooper. When Puka come, they be like, hey, what's up, Poop? What's up, Poop? When Coop come, they be like, hey, what's up, Cooper? Nah, Puka the man right now. Puka, he the man. So, and then you have Super Bowl winning coach, Super Bowl winning quarterback. Aaron Donald is still Aaron Donald. Like, I think the Rams, I would not be surprised if the Rams are in the NFC Championship. I wouldn't be surprised by that at all. AFC, I think the most dangerous team, man, is the Baltimore Ravens. I really do.
It's going to be a boring segment because I got the same 2 picks.
I do. Yo, everybody been crying. Oh, Lamar got to throw. Lamar got to throw. Shout out to Mark Andrews. I hope blessings to you. Hope you get back right. But I think that was a blessing in disguise. When he went down, Lamar said, I got it. Odell get the ball. Zay get the ball. Isaiah Likely get the ball. Yo, if Keaton Mitchell wouldn't have got hurt, I would feel more secure about them winning the Super Bowl. I promise you. I would have felt more secure about it. But those are my 2 most dangerous teams, Baltimore and LA Rams.
Yeah, I got the same 2 picks, so it's not gonna be much differential. But I'd like it's kind of like with baseball, you know what I'm saying? It's not always the best team that wins the World Series. It's who gets hot right before the playoffs, and you just carry that over. And them 2 the most hottest teams. You know what I'm saying? You got a fired up Matt Stafford, who his first playoff game in Detroit, the perfect storyline, right?
Perfect.
You got Cooper Cup 2.0 and Puka Nacua. You know You know what I'm saying? And Demarcus Robinson, don't look now, but Demarcus Robinson got 6 TDs in the past 4 games alone. So he's stretching the field for him. You know, you still got Cooper Kupp. You know what I'm saying? So when the focus starts to shift to Puka, you still got Cooper Kupp who can get busy on any given Sunday. You know what I'm saying? Higbee looked good. And I think the biggest thing that opened up for the Rams was the running game with the Kyron Williams.
And I totally
Him,
forgot about that. My bad.
dude, don't take negative yardage for nothing. And if he do get a negative yard, he get that back 3 times the next play. You know what I'm saying? Dude is a monster in the run game, pass block, catching passes. The line gives Stafford, it ain't great, but it gives him enough time to do what he needs to do. And that's all he needs. And the defense, like I said a couple shows ago, any defense led by Aaron Donald is going to be half decent. You know what I'm saying? And you know he kicks it into another gear for the playoffs. And then for the AFC, the Ravens, what? Lamar got a pass. First, you got to pass. You got to find a way to pass. You worried about what Lamar doing? Y'all got that defense. Don't give up nothing. Nothing. If you think you're gonna come in here and run the ball on it, that's not gonna happen either.
Yeah,
that front four is
on that line.
That front four is disgusting. Yeah. They have a rotation for the defensive ends. Nobody plays a full drive ever. They take turns. Nobody plays a full game on that team.
I think Michael Pierce has like an indention of the belt on his stomach because like whenever that junk is crazy. That D line is crazy. And you got Justin crazy.
Michael and then some kind of way, say you're a running back and you make it through that front four. You got Roquan Smith and Patrick Green waiting for you right there.
Smacking.
And then you got Kyle Hamilton coming downhill, waiting to smack. Come on now. What? And a Marlon Humphrey in the secondary. The offense is gonna be interesting because they say Mandrews is back. But I think, like what you said, Mandrew's going down because I felt like Lamar felt like he was obligated. He had to get him the ball. He needed to get – that was his way of getting himself going, you know. And when you zero on the – because defenses, the coordinators aren't stupid. They know this is the guy. And you start forcing the ball to this guy to get yourself going and you forsake everyone else. The offense, the passing game never gets going. And then you see them handing the ball off 45 times a game. I think the offense is wide open now. You really don't know what to do. That RPO is something nasty. And then when they put the 2 running backs back there with a triple RPO, and then Lamar go one way, and then pass it to what's his name, Justice Hill in space.
And then now they got Dalvin.
And then now they got Dalvin. They got a Melvin Gordon on the practice squad just in case they need to dust him off. Come on now.
So
you got Mayfield. Sorry.
This is where I'm gonna go. This is where I'm gonna go with it. I like the Ravens. I feel like they're gonna make Super Bowl, but the most dangerous in the AFC, I'm gonna go Houston. I feel like Houston is the most dangerous because even though I feel like I do got a feeling that the Ravens will make it to the Super Bowl, but when I see CJ,
aren't you a Panthers fan?
1,000%. I mean, that don't mean I gotta hate CJ. That don't mean I gotta hate CJ for our dumbness just because we decided to be stupid. I got videos back in the day saying we should have drafted CJ Stroud.
Houston is what he wishes the Panthers was. This is spirit team. It's his spirit team.
Nah, because you remember I have a video on YouTube right now that said we should have drafted CJ Stroud, and this was way before the draft. But look, I say Houston because when I look at Houston, we've seen CJ Stroud in dogfights. We've seen CJ Stroud come back. So if it comes down to him and the Ravens, even if it's like, let's say it's a 7-point game at the end of the game, I'm not going to necessarily sit here and count CJ out. Do I feel like the Ravens will probably win? Yes, but I feel like they're going to be a thorn in the Ravens.
Yeah, I feel like that 2-minute drill with Houston is something serious.
Yeah.
I seen him march 58 yards down the field with like 17 seconds. So
facts.
I wouldn't put nothing past them.
If CJ Stroud Card can beat the Cleveland Browns today, CJ Stroud's top 5. Look, he could beat that defense.
Yeah,
he top 5, dog.
I'm definitely gonna do that. And then on the other side, I'm gonna say the Dallas Cowboys. I'm gonna say the Dallas Cowboys because the thing is with Dallas they get in that second overall spot, they get to play at home for the first 2 rounds. And that's where Dallas is the most dangerous when they're playing at home. They don't really lose at home. You know, and for some reason, let's say that San Francisco get knocked off. I'm not saying it. I'm not going to put anything past it, but if San Francisco get knocked off, and they get to run the playoffs through Dallas, Dallas might be in the Super Bowl.
That's a
And
good pick, Carr. That's a
yeah,
good
I didn't even
pick.
think of that. Yeah.
That's a
that
good
Philly
pick.
that
messed
Because you
up.
know what?
Philly
It's a
messed
lot
up
of
giving.
narrative this season, this playoffs. You got Lamar having the best team, pat down. The Chiefs are not the better team. Lamar has no excuses. Dallas has their best opportunity to win a chip this year. No excuses. The Niners, healthy, good, no excuse. There's a lot of narratives in these playoffs. There's a lot of narratives.
Yeah.
yes. And I when I'm looking at it like the playoffs running through Dallas with that defense. They done figured out how to get CD Lamb. CD Lamb looking like a top 5 receiver right now. You know, Ferguson, he's looking like a top 5 tight end in the league right now. I would say Ferguson. Uh,
He
you
a
know,
chain mover. He moved
He
the
got
chains.
Rico Dowdle, he looking like that perfect 1-2 punch to Pollard.
Brandon
To
Cooks cooking for him.
facts.
Yeah.
So when I'm looking at this Dallas team, I'm like, yo, I don't feel like nobody really wants to see them,
No.
especially if they got to see them in Dallas. It's gonna be a situation.
That's a good pick because I think the only team that can really maybe knock them off at home would probably be like a super team like San Francisco. Really, I don't
Right.
think any of these other teams below them. Maybe a Philly if they get their shit together, but I don't think any of these other teams, not named Philly or San Francisco, could knock them off. So you're probably right. They probably do.
Yeah,
They
that's a
probably
great
do.
pick, Carr.
They probably do walk to the NFC Championship.
Let me ask y'all this: Is it boom or bust for the Niners?
Yeah, yeah.
1,000%.
It's got to be, especially the moves that they've made coming into the season too, and then the moves they made in season. Like, yeah, they pushing in all the chips, bringing in a Chase Young, bringing in who else did they bring in? It was Randy Gregory. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You're pushing in all the chips, and you got a healthy CMC for the playoffs.
Healthy.
You know, yeah, not a banged up or a damaged like a MVP type season CMC. A healthy Debo, Kittle, Ayuk, lines fully. Trent's back. You know what I'm saying? Like it's boom or bust. Yeah, you pushing all the chips. This is their best opportunity, really. I think with Philly not handling business and letting Dallas get that 2 spot because I totally forgot about that and letting them have them home games because Dallas could have easily got bounced in the first round if they didn't have that home game. They're not. They are a completely different team on the road than they are at home. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that is pretty interesting. They could.
That's a great pick, Carr.
It
It
is,
was.
because
Yeah, that's a great
the
pick.
more I think about it, because even if let's say the Rams make it, you know what I'm saying, and they got to play Dallas in Dallas. Even all the great things I just said about the Rams, I don't know if they can handle that. That's a lot to handle.
Hey, man.
That's a violent defense too.
Yeah, bro. So I mean,
Interceptions aren't just interceptions in Dallas's; they're pick sixes.
Yo, Bland, that boy Bland takes everything back.
You throw an interception at AT&T Stadium is 6 points.
That's 6. So yeah, Carr. I didn't think about Dallas, man. You're right, man. Dallas, Dak cooking. Dak is cooking.
Dak been balling. All right, so getting on to CJ Stroud, who we just spoke about. You know, this is his first playoff game happening today. He's looking like, he was the right guy. He was the guy of the draft, And, I'm happy for Houston because especially coming off Deshaun Watson, who was a top 3 pick at one point. And then, they were able to change their fortunes by getting the CJ Stroud, who's looking like the guy they were able to bring in the right coach. That's one of the more recent defensive coaches that look like he could run a team in this new NFL. So with that, does a playoff win make CJ Stroud a top 5 quarterback in the NFL?
If he beats the Cleveland Browns today, CJ Stroud's top 5 quarterback. You got to think, we talk all the time. The 3 of us and Howard talk all the time. See, I didn't know what a Tank Dell or a Nico Collins was before CJ
I didn't
Stroud.
even know Buddy was even on the tight end. I didn't even know he left Dallas. I thought he was still on Dallas.
Oh, Dalton Schultz. Dalton Schultz. I'm like, yo. Look, man, CJ Stroud. My big thing this year has been that I've emphasized is winning with bad coaching, looking great with bad coaching. D'Amico's a great coach, but I don't know who that OC is. I don't know if he's good or not. CJ Stroud, he is doing it for his mama, himself, Ohio State. We always had the narrative. Ohio State QBs are boo kitty. Yo, he cooking. The boy cooking, y'all. Like,
Well,
shout out to CJ. They was saying that boy was dumb. Remember during the draft process?
They say
They
he
was
couldn't read.
saying he was drooling, like he couldn't read or something. Like what?
I don't know.
Shout out to CJ Stroud, man. Blessings to you. Hey, yo, you beat the Browns, you top five. Top five. Yeah, I guess.
I mean, you gotta look like this, right? He number 2 overall pick, right? And that was considered them taking a flyer. That was at number 2 overall. You're considered a flyer pick. Yeah, like they rolled the dice. Like, hopefully this works out, right? Cool. You come in the season, you set the league on fire for 18 weeks. Fire. Definitely rookie of the year. Ain't no way, shape about it. Rookie of the year.
Puka?
That's what I'm saying. If CJ beats the Browns,
AFC and NFC, right?
Oh yeah.
One rookie. Yeah. CJ,
if CJ can beat him, I'm telling you, Puka.
Not only that, not even that, right? You take a team that was supposed to be in a rebuilding, because they said we want to build a culture, rebuild. Don't expect too much, and you bring them to not only to the playoffs, but you win the fucking division too. You're the AFC South champs, right? On top of that, now you playing the toughest, most feared defense in the AFC next to the Baltimore Ravens and the Cleveland Browns. And if you go out there and you dice them up and you beat them, because they're gonna score.
They're gonna score.
Flacco on some other time. He's rolled back the clock. He cooking. They're gonna score. You score on this defense and you beat them, and now you host another playoff game next round or something like that. You win one. I think he's top 10 without a question or a doubt. You win one. You win two. Now we pushing the top 4. You might be booting.
Think about being in Texas right now. Dallas Cowboys, Houston. Yo, I think they play next year too. I'm looking it up right now. I think they play next year. That game gonna be crazy.
So
yeah, they do. Yeah, they play next year. That game gonna be crazy.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Where's it at? Houston or Dallas?
It's in Dallas.
Of course it is.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. It's in Dallas.
I feel like right now we should take a moment of silence for Trevor Lawrence, because this was supposed to be Trevor Lawrence's division. Trevor Lawrence was supposed to be able to run this division for the next, 5 to 10 years easily. And within one draft, every single piece of competition that he's scored,
I think when we did the preseason show, we was like, "This is a runaway division. Like he ain't got nothing to worry about. This is Trevor's."
They basically turned into the AFC North in one
and
draft.
Then you look up. Yeah, you look up. Now you got 3 teams battling for your spot, and you might not even make the playoffs if you don't win. You know what I'm saying?
So right now, CJ Stroud, he honestly might be the best quarterback in his division right now.
He might be. And then you got to think about AR come back next year.
Facts.
Anthony Richardson come back next year. And
so if he win this playoff game, does it make him a top 5 quarterback? All right, my top 5. All right? Does this take Jalen Hurts out? Yes.
Let's go, Tar. That's what I'm talking about, boy.
Does it? So if he wins this playoff game, I believe
that's a big deal for him. That's a big deal.
This top 5. This don't matter if they're hurt or they're playing, right?
So Joe Burrow, I'm even Joe Burrow being hurt.
Right,
I'm not taking him out my top
5. It's probably Pat, Lamar, Allen, Burrow, and yeah, he win. Yeah, I don't see why I would put Trevor Lawrence, Herbert, all them Hurts in front of him. Why not Stroud? I mean, and the thing is, he not like. So the thing with like Hurts, I'll speak on Hurts, is his team can overcome him not being that great on Sundays, and they can still win. That's how good their team is, right?
Herbert can't make it to the playoffs.
Herbert can't even make it to the playoffs. He don't even deserve to be in the top 5 discussion right now. And then Lawrence, they're kind of mid. I really think after seeing what I've seen, Lawrence is kind of mid. Like he's good, he's great, but he's not the savior that they thought descended from heaven. To
Kirk
save
Cousins
football.
with long hair. Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, he's kind of mid. You know what I'm saying? He's an exceptional talent anywhere else, but for the pedestal we put him on, he's kind of like mid, like middle of the pack. I don't see why Stroud don't land in the top 5, win or lose. Really, win or lose. What he's accomplished as a rookie, with and he ain't even got Tank Dell no more. With a Nico Collins. Did you know who Farrell Brown was before Farrell Brown? put the fantasy league on notice for 3 weeks straight.
He
No,
did. He
with a
did.
Yeah.
Dalton, with a Devin Singletary. These are like the aftermarket parts. When you go when your bins break down and you can't afford the bins parts, you get the OEM parts from whatever parts were. This is what these guys are. No knock
The
to
back
them.
of the Walmart. The back of the
Yeah,
Walmart.
you go to
Got it.
Walmart to get your spark
Yeah.
plugs type stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
nobody. Singletary was a nobody. He was an afterthought. Singletary, all of a sudden, Singletary, most dangerous running back in the South. Damn near.
Facts.
AFC South. Come on now.
Yeah, nah. So I think we're all in agreement. Hey, this playoff win here will make CJ Stroud a top 5 quarterback.
I do want to ask one other question though, right?
But
On the flip side of this, if Flacco wins this, right? What you think it
Mhm.
means for Flacco? You think Flacco come back next year? Because I
I
did
don't
want to
think
bring
it-
this up.
I don't think it means so much for Flacco.
Not with the
It's-
Browns because they have to keep Watson.
They got to keep Watson, but it really makes them look bad with the hand banana. I
What?
call it hand banana because he can't
Hand
stop
banana.
pushing. You know what I'm saying?
look.
I just got what you said.
All right. Yeah, for Flacco, I feel like he's kind of in a role right now where if a quarterback go down, he's just going to get the call. I feel like that's just all this is where Flacco is. I don't feel like there's no situation where Flacco is just going to go be a starter at
You
at
don't
his
think so?
age.
You don't think like say some of these teams they dick it up in the offseason, right? And Flacco back on the couch, you don't think maybe like a Washington maybe gives him a call or like
Not
a
at
New
his
England
age.
maybe?
I feel like you'd rather go try to find a young talent that could be a future than
Okay, but what about one of these middling teams that are good enough to contend, but their quarterback's holding them back, like I don't know, say like a New Orleans or a Seattle, maybe.
But do you look at Flacco and say he's that much better than Derek Carr? Where it's like I wouldn't take the upside on Derek Carr.
I think his execution, and I talk about this all the time, it don't matter who's better. Is if he can execute better than that
He
guy,
is a
the team's gonna-
professional. He is a
he's a
professional.
professional. He executes. He makes the
He's a-
throws he's supposed to make. And he don't put himself in any danger. That's why I'm saying this game is
So
gonna be tough.
I'm gonna take this to Carolina to be exact, right? For this year, would Andy Dalton probably have been a better situation for this year and let Bryce sit? Probably,
If you
but
was trying to win the most games, yeah. If you was trying to win the most games, yeah.
facts. But at this moment, at Andy's age and all that, we'll rather figure out how we can get Bryce the playing time, all that, than try to go put Andy Dalton in and try to make a playoff run. That's the way I will equate Joe Flacco's situation to right now. So right now, I feel like he's not necessarily going to be a backup anywhere because I feel like that's not necessarily what. But when a quarterback go down, if a quarterback go down like this year, a lot of quarterbacks went down. Joe Flacco will be the number one call.
I ain't trying to rub salt in the wound, but imagine if the Vikings, instead of trading for Dobbs, gave Flacco a call.
So that's been brought up. That's been
Same
brought
with
up.
the Jets. Imagine if I
That's
can't say the
been-
Jets because last time he was in the Jets uniform, he was abysmal.
But you got to think too. Dobbs gave us like 2-3 games where he was cooking. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't like we made the most horrible decision. I think with Flacco, the Browns have had a top 5 rosters for the past 4 years now, maybe. They've had a top 5 roster. Flacco is just a professional. He know how to make reads. He know to get out of, how to audible. Like Flacco is a professional, man. Like to me, this kind of adds icing to what he did for the Super Bowl for the Ravens. Because before, he just got people look at his numbers. Flacco made the playoffs like 5 times.
Yeah.
He had like 3, 4. Like Flacco was a good quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, shout out to Flacco, man. Flacco said he had his hands on his nutsack before he got the call. So,
I was just saying what y'all thought if he should be a starter again. If I'm him, I'd do my thing, get up out of here, go as far as we go, and I just keep my phone by me next year. Somebody gonna hit me up. And the thing is, this is a great situation to walk in Cleveland. You got 2 of everything. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Not only are they highly paid and the best at their position, but you got young pieces too. You know what I'm saying?
1,000%.
he actually used David Njoku. He actually used
They
him.
used him after all these years of Njoku just being a guy who get 4 catches for 40 yards. He making it Njoku look like a field stretcher. You know what I'm saying? Dude actually has stupid speed. Njoku actually fast as hell.
But this puts a lot of pressure on Ham Banana next year, man. I'm telling you, put a lot of pressure on him.
Because you got to think Deshaun Watson coming back next year with a healthy Nick Chubb and they're probably gonna add another receiver or two. You know what I'm saying? So this offense is gonna look a lot better than what they're doing with it right now. Just on the sole fact of Nick Chubb coming back. Jerome Ford is filled in admirably, but Nick Chubb is a whole nother beast you got to worry about back there. And he's
Yeah.
been chilling. You know what I'm saying? Resting his body. I know he's hurt, but the rest of his body's been resting for a whole season, damn near. You know what I'm saying? And that's good for a running back with as much miles as he's put on his body. That's good. He just earned a year back on his shelf life.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely with you. Joe Flacco gonna have to, stay by the phone. But moving on. Yeah, yeah. So we got coming up is take a shot. Take a shot presented to you by Pinnacle Contractors. If you need any of your contracting work done on the West Coast and the 757 area, contact Pinnacle Contractors. All right, so take a shot this week. Take a shot is a segment where we're gonna say controversial take. If you agree, you good. If you don't agree, you gotta take a shot for it. Not agree. All right. So what y'all drinking today?
I broke out the big boy, the Luna Azul tequila, 40% alcohol, 100% day agave, whatever that means.
I wasn't prepared for this. This all I got.
Okay, all right, we'll take it. We'll take it. All right.
We'll
My
take it.
normal week on week, Jim
You
Beam.
back? You still on the Jim Beam?
Yeah, still on Jim Beam. I'm trying to finish this bottle off. I don't really drink during the week. All right. So controversial take number one. The Tennessee Titans made the right move by moving on from Vrabel.
I think so. I think it was time.
You
We had
agree?
talked about this. Yeah, I agree. We talked about this like last year. You know what I'm saying? And I think Vic, I think you was on here last year. You bring it up. You know what I'm saying? How many years are you gonna keep just rolling with the same roster? It's not going anywhere. You know what I'm
I,
saying?
I'm gonna take a shot on that one.
Maybe you could give it to like switching up the personnel, but they didn't really work with Vrabel. You know what I'm saying?
But
They didn't give him
if you're saying here, there are not too many good coaches in this league, right? I would have brought in a better OC, whatever, before I would have went ahead and got rid of a good
but we
coach.
don't know what happens behind closed doors. You know what I'm saying? Maybe this
Yeah,
new
right.
regiment, maybe they ready to just tear it down to the bones and start fresh. You know what I'm saying? And
Absolutely.
Vrabel wasn't willing to do that. You know what I'm saying?
I feel
Because
you.
how many meddling seasons is this man gonna put himself through? You know what I'm saying?
I feel like it's an Andy Reid Philly situation with them.
Yeah. I think it's run its
So
course.
I feel like it was best of both parties. Hey, girl, I love you, but we just ain't rocking them.
All right. All right. So
Just ain't got the same feeling.
controversial take number two. The Eagles will be playoff bust and lose in the first round.
I don't know if they lose the first round.
Yeah, I don't know if they lose.
The Tampa Bay, do they lose?
I don't know. No AJ Brown is actually. I think this is what I think because you bring it up with the Lamar thing. I think AJ Brown not being on the field might actually open things up for Hurts passing wise because he don't feel obligated to get him involved. I
This
think
a
you
big
see.
game for him. This a big game for him.
I think you see Devontae Smith get busy, Dallas Goddard, Swift start catching passes and stuff like that. I feel like it's a whole nother playbook and set of plays you can run when there is a no AJ Brown. Which sucks is because
this is your how Carr always arguing about Jalen Hurts, how good he is. Jalen Hurts got to prove today that he the bus driver, or Monday night that he is a bus driver. He got to prove that.
All right. Controversial take number three. That's five of them. So big. So I don't know. You new to the segment. That's five of them all together. Controversial take number three. Brock Purdy job should be safe even if he don't make it to the Super Bowl. So it's playoff. So it's Super Bowl a bust for Brock Purdy?
K-Wall said it after I said what I said. K-Wall said it. If you don't, so Carr, think about it. If the Niners don't win the Super Bowl, who are you pointing at? Who's the owner pointing at to say you not good enough? It ain't Kyle. It ain't Fred. It ain't George. It ain't CMC. It ain't Debo. It ain't Trent. Who you pointing at?
At one point, he was the Super Bowl. I mean, not Super Bowl. He was MVP favorite. You cannot get rid of him.
I have said this for weeks on this show. This man is a turnover machine. Okay. He just has not been punished for it. And when he played a team like the Ravens, what happened? He got punished.
When he
4
played us,
turnovers.
he got punished. Remember, he played us the
Punished.
Monday night. He got
Yes.
punished.
You can't do that. First round, whoever you see it, I get it, you get a bye. But whoever you see coming out of that bye, you know what I'm saying? They just played a playoff game. They ready. They're in that mindset. Their body's warm. They ready to go. You know what I'm saying? And it could very be a Los Angeles. You know what I'm saying? Or however it shakes out. You know what I'm saying? If somebody beats Dallas, you know what I'm saying? That team, if they beat Dallas and Dallas, you know what I'm saying? Probably going to the AFC Championship.
All
And
right,
like
all
Vic
right.
said, you can't blame nobody else but Purdy because they don't owe Purdy a damn thing being a 7th-round quarterback. If Kirk Cousins is available, do you not think Kyle Shanahan's be like, go get my boy, go get my man,
All
go
right,
get him?
all right.
Dang, I
Lamar,
ain't think about
Yeah,
that.
he ain't like that one. He ain't like that one. Oh, could you imagine Kirk on the Niners
crazy.
with a
They would
Kyle
have won
Shanahan?
last year. They would have won a chip last year.
Okay, okay. So number 4, Lamar Jackson will be the best quarterback in the league if he wins the Super Bowl.
Yes.
He jumps Pat. He jumps
Yes.
the best quarterback in the league.
That Super Bowl ring changed a lot of things.
It changed a lot.
You can go from number 18 all the way to top 10. Easy.
That girl be looking bad with that jury on.
I'm definitely with it. I feel like Lamar will be the best quarterback. I feel like 2 MVPs, 1 Super Bowl. I think he's gonna win the Super Bowl. I mean, the
Kari, think
MVP.
about it, Kari. Think about it. For the longest, when you named the best players on the Baltimore Ravens, you said Lamar Jackson, Mark Andrews, Justin Tucker. Your kicker should not be top 5 on your team.
Facts.
But he's the best. He probably the best kicker ever. I mean,
No,
He
he
a weapon though.
is.
He
He
a
is.
weapon though. He a weapon.
He is.
Unless you're on your own 30-yard line, you ain't out of field goal range. Anything above that.
okay. Last
If
one.
you if
Last
you
one.
on that symbol in the middle of the field, you in his range,
You in his range.
which is
Last,
crazy.
last one. It is a now or never year for Josh Allen to win the Super Bowl.
Yes.
Uh,
Diggs getting older. You don't have the replacement because you don't trust Gabe. You know you can't trust them yellow belly boys. You know how they are. Yeah, I ain't say okay. You know what? I'm gonna take a half shot. It ain't do or die for Josh, but
I think it's kind of now or never because you got to realize he's in the age he's in the age with Pat Mahomes, Joe Burrow, and he's all in the same conference. Lamar Jackson, all these guys, and it just getting to a point where it's like this kind of the best this team is going to be because them safeties are getting older, they're getting injured a lot more often. They decided to choose Milano over Edmonds, and Milano got hurt. It's like a lot of injuries constantly happening. They brought in a Rasul Douglas. I feel like that was a great pickup for them. But on that offense, like you said, Diggs getting older. Kincaid was a good pickup this year. But, as Howard would say, Gabe is always to blame for everything. They got James Cook, but it's starting to feel like it's kind of now or never for him to get
I
this
think I
monkey off
think
his back.
I think for the Bills is now and never for them. I don't think it's now and never for Josh because look at like you just say, right? The guys that are missing are like premier players, right? Matt Milano, premier linebacker, outside linebacker, probably the best coverage linebacker in the league, right? At Tre'Davious White, even at 75%. We just talked about corners. He in that top 10 at 70%. That's how down bad. That is how down bad the cornerback state is in the NFL, right? Diggs is getting older, right? But you have a plethora of young talent coming out into the free agency market and in the draft. You could do what they did before getting Diggs from Minnesota. You could get a Brandon Ayuk maybe and let him blossom with Allen. You could do a T. Higgins or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Let me ask
I
you
think as long as Allen is healthy and ready to go, because the one important position in the NFL you already have solved, your window is always the door is always cracked. Don't get me wrong, the door is kind of closed right now. The window's kind of closed because the roster is a little bit older. But having a Josh Allen and having that fixed is less for you to worry about. It'd be different if Allen was on his way out the league and you're like, do they still have a chance? Yeah, it definitely would be now or never.
But let me ask you right now. I'm asking you right now. Who do you think? wide receivers would rather play with, CJ Stroud or Josh Allen?
CJ Stroud at the
And
moment.
then
CJ
down
Stroud
there, you don't got no state income tax. You I feel like, wide receivers, I feel like they would rather go down to Houston than go to Buffalo. So I don't know. I feel like right now it's getting to that point where Josh got to make that move. If it's not this year, it's next year, or it might be a never situation.
Because with Josh, everything y'all saying is true. KP, everything y'all saying is true. But I see Josh as he gets older, he's gonna run less. So then he's gonna be Big Ben with no mobility. You already know Josh don't make the best decisions with the ball anyway.
That's facts, absolute
So as he
facts.
gets
And then,
older,
I mean, I
he's
think
gonna be tucking it up there.
but he has a good GM too. You know what I'm saying? Brandon Bean is a very good GM. You know what I'm saying? He's
He
gonna
need a
set
good
up
coach.
success.
He need a good coach. Sean McDermott ain't in.
I
I,
think
I,
the coaching, they need to refine the coach. Whoever, I think there's a lot of voices, a lot of mouths, you know what I'm saying? You got Joe Brady in his ear, you got Sean McDermott in his ear, you probably got a pass game coordinator, a quarterback coach, 2-minute drill coordinator, yeah, throwing mechanics coordinator. It's too many voices. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
You need
not
one guy that he comes to for all his advice and everything, and that's the voice that he needs to hear. You don't need an all-star coach of everything for the quarterback. It's too many voices in his head. I can only imagine before the snap is off how many people in there talking to him. And he's probably like, you know what
Yeah,
I'm
no,
saying?
you
Like,
you with it, you with it. All right, so that was Take a Shot, brought to you by Pinnacle Contractor. Remember, if you're in the West Coast or 757 area, hit up Pinnacle Contracting for all your construction needs. And all right, so let's get to our picks. All right, who y'all got? Houston or Cleveland?
Houston.
Houston.
I like the
Yeah, I'm with Houston
controversy.
too. Miami or Kansas City?
Kansas City. It's negative 10 degrees.
Oh God, damn. Yeah, Kansas. Ah! I'm gonna go Miami. I'm gonna go against the grain. I'm gonna go Miami. I'm gonna go
I'm
Miami.
gonna go Pat.
If they can get Waddle and Mostert back, I'm
Pat
gonna
ain't
go
no
Miami.
one pump chump. I'm going
I'm
Pat.
gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you.
Pat's never lost a game outside of a AFC Championship game in the playoffs,
We go.
which is crazy. He's never
I
lost
kind
a
of want
game.
to go Miami. I feel like Tyreek's about to try to show up, but I'm gonna go
Okay.
KC. I'm gonna
Oh,
go
I
KC.
forgot about that. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna go Miami.
Isn't that the game that's on Peacock too? Like, what are they doing?
Yeah, that's so stupid.
Peacock. I don't have Peacock.
Green Bay versus Dallas.
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 Yeah, I'm with Dallas. All right, Detroit versus the Rams.
Rams.
All right. Buffalo versus Pittsburgh.
Is it in Buffalo?
Yeah, Buffalo.
Yeah, it is in Buffalo. They had to move the game to Monday because of the weather.
I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna
be
go
real.
Buffalo.
I want to say Buffalo, but they still gonna put they soul
But there's no TJ Watt though.
Buffalo, the buff.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
If TJ was playing,
Yeah.
it'd be a little bit tougher decision, but that changed that whole defense.
I ain't know that.
All right, Philly versus Tampa Bay.
I'm gonna be. I know it's kind of contradicting from the take a shot thing, but the more I think about it, what if they do fold under all that pressure? You know what I'm saying? With no AJ Brown out there, because you got to think AJ Brown take a lot of pressure off the defense, and they don't really take advantage of it. Now he not out there. I'm gonna take the experience and the championship pedigree of some of the guys on Tampa Bay. I'm gonna take Tampa Bay. It's gonna be Baker's show out game.
What you
Baker
got,
beat
Vic?
Philly. Baker got to be the starting quarterback for Buccaneers going forward.
What you got, Vic?
Big Mike got to get paid. Big Mike got to get paid. So you got to show out.
I agree with everything K-Wall say as far as if Baker wins the game, but I'm gonna go with Jalen Hurts. I need you to show me that you're not a high school quarterback. Show me that you ain't gonna run screens the whole. You got because he gonna have to throw the ball. AJ not there.
Yeah.
I want to say Tampa Bay, but I just can't go against Philly.
Baker's your
I can't go
man.
against
Bro.
Philly. Yeah,
I just can't go against Philly. So
I did it the past 2 weeks.
because neither of these teams look good going into the playoffs, but I feel like
Especially Philly, though. You dropped games to Arizona, and those are the two games supposed to clinch them the division. Arizona and the Giants. And they got smacked. Tyrod cooked them.
Philly just seemed like the better team. But this has been another great episode. I want to, again, thank Vic for coming on with us. Remember, check out Soup Talk, the #1 battle rap podcast in the world.
Thank y'all, man. Thank y'all for
Yeah.
having me.
And this man Stan Bounce. Sign off for Vic and K-Wall. Good night. Hope to have you back soon, Howard. Peace.
Happy birthday to Cass. Today's her birthday. Everybody.
Oh, happy
wish her
birthday.
Happy birthday to Cass. Peace.